about you today.
Jota is fit, and you know Jota against you.
My brother, it's okay. Jota is not
You can't laugh about Jota. You can't laugh about Jota.
Just let me ask him
Let
about
me get
Nunes.
Jota's record.
Let me ask him about Nunes.
Jota's record. He's probably scored 3 in 3 now.
This season than Cristiano Ronaldo.
And so who
cares about
is Ronaldo? Is Ronaldo
Who cares
our
about
starter?
Who cares about Cristiano
Who
Ronaldo?
cares about Ronaldo? Yes, about Nunes.
No, but you're talking to me, bro. Stop deflecting. I'm worried about the person in front of you.
Okay, no.
I'm the one in front of you. He's already beaten you.
My point for you.
He's already beaten you. Did he beat you or not? Did he beat you or not? Did he beat you or not?
Yeah, he did.
Did he beat you or not? Okay, then let's go.
Let's
Don't talk to him. Don't talk to him. Talk to me. Talk to me. I'm not talking to him because he beat me as well.
Wait. The actual battle is on Saturday. Is it Saturday or Sunday?
It might as well be now.
Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday,
right?
Well,
So just chill. Just chill till
No,
then.
this is the preview for it now.
No, we'll get there. But there's somebody I wanted
Jota
to
catches Ben White again.
I
There's
beg,
somebody-
Ben White is too clean, bro. Too clean, bro.
Ben White
What are you
is
talking
Jota's
about? Don't worry,
dog.
Saliba is there to save the day.
Ben White is Jota.
Hear me.
hero.
Let me. No, don't, guys, just chill.
here
I'm
with
the
you.
umpire here. I'll be giving yellow cards.
Since you
and
have
red
beaten
cards.
both of us before.
Exactly.
okay.
Producer, please bring my red cards and yellow cards because it feels like it's going to be a battle.
Yeah,
He'll need it. He'll need it. He's the one
I'm
bringing
going
the tackles.
to. Cautions are going to
Jota
happen.
doing?
You can't touch my ball.
But before we go into Liverpool and Arsenal,
Talk to me.
there's somebody who's stealing all the headlines across the world of football.
I hope for the right reasons.
And no, of course, for the right reasons. And that's where we'll start. The question of today. Erling bro Haaland.
Erling, your senior brother Haaland.
Erling everybody's daddy. Erling everybody's daddy.
Manchester.
Let's start from there, right? Let's start from there.
Let's get it.
This boy is something else. He's a phenom. And my question to you is, how many goals do you anticipate Haaland will finish, the league with at the end of the season?
I know it's a great start. Obviously, people are looking at the ratios of, by way of he's only played 8 games and he scored 14 goals. That can only equate to about, above 50
At this
goals.
rate.
At this rate,
Definitely.
above 50 goals. But he's not going to continue at this rate. I do think teams will start to play a certain style of football that will negate or not allow Manchester City to have the same fluidity that they have. We've seen seasons in the past where Manchester City start this way and then teams start to figure out how to not concede as much, not to not lose.
Exactly,
It's not to
you're very
concede as
likely
much.
to
So
lose
they play
still.
negative football in some ways. So in answering your question, I think he's going to score, he'll break the record, 35 goals.
How about you?
Okay, so you were talking about the ratios. He's played 8 games, right?
Yeah,
so he has
yeah,
14
in the
in 8.
Premier
So
League.
there are 30 Premier League games left.
sound
And
like
if
a
you're assuming in
mathematician.
30 games, he's going to score only 21 goals. I don't believe that's the case. I think in 30 games, this guy is going to score at least.
I think
Bad as a bad, if he's fit and he plays the main 30 games, bad as a bad, he's going to score 26 goals. So 26 plus the 14 we have already, this person's going to score like 40 goals. He's going to be near 40.
For me.
35, 40, I think this is the only time we'll shake
Yeah,
hands.
The guy is giving guys hat-tricks, he's giving guys. So any match where if he takes a break for one reason, in the next few games, he's going to another hat-trick. So
Let me ask you, do you play FIFA?
Yeah.
You play FIFA, do you play the career mode?
Yeah.
So when you create your player and you start the season and when you finally break into the team, how many goals do you usually score?
Well, I don't play that often, but when you finally break into the team, can get like 25 goals.
Yo,
That's considered
when
regular
I create
life.
my own player, giving him, buy all the extras, give him everything, bro, he scores 50 goals in a season.
So you're saying that
So Haaland is a video game.
created-
He's a video. Look
he's
at
a-
what
he's a
he's.
robot.
First of all, look at his specimen as a human being. His height gives him an advantage. His speed gives him an advantage. His desire to be there gives him the ultimate advantage. And now you're playing in a team that they're built to help you not do much. All he has to do
Exactly.
is
Just be
focus
there,
on
focus,
scoring the
focus.
ball.
The setup he has right now. So in this team, he has Pep Guardiola, who is the most attacking manager in Premier League.
And he's an admirer
He's
of
like the
him.
only manager that's got 100 goals. I think they've done that twice this season.
Yeah.
Then you look at Kevin De Bruyne behind him. If you look at his ratios, nobody has assisted at a more frequent rate
Facts.
in Premier League history than Kevin De
Facts.
Bruyne. Like
Facts.
he's going to destroy all the records. He's hit David Silva, he's hit Steven Gerrard already. So in that setup, so you have the most lethal scorer ever, the most lethal creator ever, and a manager that enhances this type of football. Haaland must break all the records. Like, he must
I mean,
not
it would be a disappointment if he doesn't. That's how great he's doing.
So
So
you
far.
think he'll score 35? You think he'll score 40? But for me, I feel like he's not going to score 35 or 40. I think.
Yeah, the Babylon you're talking, but
no. That's just what it is.
That's how
At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, right? We're going to come to a point where Man City will start to have their injury problems again. Kevin De Bruyne would get injured. Erling Haaland himself will get injured. Hold on.
Okay,
We're going to move on from this conversation. So
I just want to put a hole in that
No, you
because
can't put a hole in it.
Kevin De
You've
Bruyne
had
is
your-
being
you've had your-
managed.
you've had your
He's not
opportunity.
playing every game as he used to. He's
But
also
it
being
will-
kept in a wall.
It will happen.
So I mean, okay,
It
I
will
get you. I
happen
get you. But predicting an injury affected team is kind of.
Gundogan will also still get injured soon.
If that's your hopes, it's like you're hoping. It's like you're hoping for something bad to happen.
And you're also hoping that he will score 35.
I'm not hoping. You don't see him. As a Man U fan, you don't see him.
You saw this thing first.
In my opinion,
I saw this ball at Salzburg.
Come on.
Erling Haaland will score. He would have a very high
Viking
scoring
warrior
season,
will
right?
score,
He would
don't
score
worry.
around 20 to 25 goals
sure.
more this season, and then that'll take him up to like 30 plus goals. And I definitely think he's going to
20,
win.
25 will take up to
He's
40
going to
goals,
win.
bro.
He's going to win the Golden Boot this season. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
That's a
Be a
football.
shock. Whoever takes that.
That's
That's
it
a
for you, our
football
fans. Let us know what you think. How many goals do you think Erling Haaland will score at the end of the Premier League season?
Ragnar Haaland.
Come, right? Come, next year. Next year, July,
Targaryen.
August.
He's a Viking.
And moving on from that, let's come back to what happened yesterday. Manchester United played, Arsenal played, both teams got wins, but there was, a manner to which both teams played that left a lot to be desired for Manchester United fans and a lot to be grateful for Arsenal fans. What do you make about that round of fixtures for both Premier League teams?
Yeah, go ahead. Let me speak about Manchester United. You can tell me.
let me-
So yeah, I saw
talk
the
about
United game. Decent game. It looked a little cagey in the mid initially, like they pegged one back. Yeah, good goals on the counter attack. Yeah, I wouldn't say, considering the opposition, a team I've never heard before, I don't know about you, but I'd have hoped for a more dominating performance, like it took Ronaldo looked bad most of the game as he looked most of the season. Rashford, that's a lot of points it takes from there because Rashford continues to score. And Martial looks really, really good. That was a very well taken goal. So yeah, the points it takes from it, but United don't look great. A win is a win, but United don't look great. Arsenal are doing what they've been doing, what I've been saying on this platform. That Arsenal are just good now. Like, Arteta is a good manager and people just need to drop their agendas. So yeah, they did what you expect them to do, look good against a Europa League side, like a side that's looking like they want to play Champions League. So United didn't look like a Champions League team against Omono FC or whatever you call that. Omolomo FC. But yeah, over to you, the fans, you guys.
What do you
To be honest, I was disappointed by Manchester United's performance. I do think that they have a loss of confidence issues going on right now. You can see clearly that when they don't start the game, creating chances or scoring goals, then they lose confidence, and that confidence automatically goes to the opposing team that they're playing against because they come into that game expecting United to finally show up and it'll be against them, and then they don't. They're like, okay, this team is actually quite rubbish, so we might as well just play our game. And it was very clear the one chance that team had, they scored on the break, and from that moment on, Manchester United looked like, oh, here we go again.
Punch in the face.
Now, the quality of the players they have will always now and then show up. And Anthony was devastating. I mean, that guy's feet, I don't know what he does with it, but he's amazing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, Ronaldo struggled, but you can tell Ronaldo is the number one person that is lacking confidence.
Yeah.
You could see it in him. He doesn't even believe that he could do it. But he's trying because he knows the weight of the world. Everybody's watching him, and you can tell that it's weighing on his shoulders. Unfortunately, Rashford comes off the bench, boom, goal. Unfortunately, Martial comes off
Unfortunately.
the bench. Boom. No, it's the facts. It's the
Unfortunately
facts.
for you.
And then when we get
to just chat some.
no, I'm not saying that. I'm a Ronaldo fan.
Oh,
I'm a
okay,
Ronaldo
okay,
fan.
that's-
So
that's
I'm speaking from the sadness of watching such a great player, someone I idolized so long, and just look like a shadow of himself. I feel like maybe Messi's gonna call him one day and say, "Yo, bro, come on, play with me, PSG. I got you." But unfortunately, I think he needs to leave the United setup to allow the other players feel like they have a place in the team because his presence there is just overwhelming to other players of his ilk. Less said about Manchester United, the better. They got the win and the story. For Arsenal, I was I was happy that the rotation of the squad happened with this particular game.
Nketiah started, Holding started.
Only three
boy,
players
Nketiah.
that started at the weekend played this particular game, and and then I looked at the bench. The bench was so filled with play. I'm like, even if we get in trouble,
we have
help to call on, and they'll be ready to go. And that's what exactly came to play. We also gave our players a good run before the Liverpool game. So manage the injuries. Partey is good, so we know his Partey is good. Arsenal is good.
going to be a
no, it's reality. Arsenal don't play well if there's no Partey. It even showed in that game. We were not as fluid. We were not as purposeful as we usually would be with Partey in the team. Xhaka had to carry too much load. Lokonga, for me, is a water carrier. No offense. No, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, you can also...
Konga, water carrier.
You can look at him in the form of Mikel back in the day where people used to complain that he holds the ball but he doesn't really do much with it. That's what he does. He just gets the ball, pass the ball, gets the ball, pass the ball. Doesn't initiate anything, doesn't necessarily break up any play. So I don't see him as a spectacular addition. If Liverpool is playing against Lokonga in the midfield, I'm worried. Do you know what I mean? If I have Partey there, you'd be worried.
I think that's Arsenal's only problem right now. The reliance on Partey, that the drop off of him to Lokonga.
Yeah,
like,
it's
Partey gets injured. It's season by unravelment.
Okay.
Facts.
That's interesting. Very good results for both Premier League sides in the Europa League.
Different forms. Sure.
Yeah, but good results at the end of the day. We're going to go to Arsenal and Liverpool very soon.
But to quickly touch on football, we didn't mention some of us played in the big boy competition.
Let's quickly touch on something that I wanted for us to talk about.
Right.
And that's Roma. Roma played against Real Betis, and they lost 2-1 there in Rome. And
this is coming off defeating Inter away from home.
Exactly, right. And it's like, what exactly is going on? Is this what is going on with Roma? What's going on with Mourinho?
No, Mourinho, stop it. No, see, that's the problem with people. Right. We associate personalities with teams' performances, right? When this team was doing great, it was all about Mourinho. And we're expecting that when they do bad, we'll go back to Mourinho. It's not Mourinho. The fact is, the opposition they played them out of the game. They played a different style that didn't allow them to express themselves they wanted to. Against Inter Milan, they planned for that game. They prepared specifically for how Inter would play, and they nullified Inter's press by way of doing what they wanted to do. They dominated the play. Now against in the Europa League, what happened in that particular game is their opposition saw them the way they saw Inter and prepared for them. Unfortunately, they didn't expect them to come at them with that. They expected them to play free-flowing, open-ended. They will find the holes and break them in. But unfortunately, they sat back and played them. So it's tactically, yes, you might say it's down to Mourinho.
Tactically, and
but
that's what
at the end of the day, the players also have to stand up and be counted.
Oh, well, true that. And moving on from that, very quickly, let us go to what seems to be the interest of both my people on the set today. So Arsenal and Liverpool are facing. Arsenal and Liverpool are playing.
On the Champions League.
It's not important.
Arsenal and
the Champions League.
Remember events from Thursday to Sunday.
So now
Arsenal and Liverpool
test show. We speak
about on Sunday, and that is the biggest one of this weekend.
For sure.
I'm making bold to say, I mean, it's more likely that Arsenal would win. Arsenal will be at home. It's happening at the Emirates. Liverpool don't seem to understand what's going on with them. Trent Alexander-Arnold has not been, pulling up.
You said it's the biggest game of the weekend. Arsenal's had the biggest game of the weekend the last 2 weekends, right?
How does
Who
that
do you play
concern?
last?
The North London derby was bigger than the Manchester derby. No, considering position on table.
And sorry, who
was
brought
first against third.
Set?
No, listen, I just wanted to get this out there because some people are arguing with me. It was first against third. You can't say first against third is not bigger than second.
I beg, it's about pedigree. When you're talking about big games,
Man United was fourth.
When you're talking about big games,
where is Manchester United?
Jimmy, when you're talking about big games, it's about pedigree. Tottenham Hotspur has 0 pedigree. Arsenal, 0 Champions League, nothing. So please just let me put that one in your back pocket. But let us talk about what actually is a very big game. Yes, Arsenal and Liverpool playing on Sunday.
So
I'll give you a way to the floor. Speak.
We're going to the Emirates after
the underdogs the floor.
Champions League performance.
We're going to and you don't want to talk about this. Now I'll talk about this. So we're going to the Emirates after a W in the Champions League. Yeah, we're second in our Champions League group at the moment. Trent Alexander-Arnold, who you just mentioned, scored the goal of the round, arguably the life of free kick. Yeah. That'll do wonders for his confidence. I think what was good to see from that game, I think what was good to see in that game was the change in. Can I speak? So I think what has changed was the change in tactics that Klopp used. So we played with the 4-3-3 the last like 5 years on that club, and obviously given results, he knew he had changed things. So now he's adjusted it. We play 4-2-3-1 now, 2 holding midfielders. This is what he did in the last game. I think that gets our better players onto the pitch instead of playing 3 midfielders where we know that's our weakness. Thiago and Fabinho.
If they're fit.
Yeah, they're both fit at the moment. So as long may that go on. I pass Arthur. Since we've been here, I pass Arthur has gotten injured. So yeah, the midfield is going to be a problem forever. So yeah, the new tactics make sense. Supports the defense well because the 2 midfielders are holding instead of 1 holding and 2 trying to attack. And yeah, I'm excited to see that game. Hopefully Jota starts. Arsenal are his boys. He has 7-7 against them. He leaves Ben White on the floor.
I think that's
he leaves Ben White.
That you said
he leaves Ben White on the floor. Yeah.
It just shows, very expensive.
Hopefully
you have a very expensive.
Yeah, we have depth.
No,
what it shows is that we have depth, like you said. So yeah, we have the depth, and so yeah, hopefully Jota starts because his record against these guys are very good. He can start on the wing. In the last match, he started with Nunes, so they can start together. And yeah, I'm backing us to. Yeah, we're gonna be Arsenal, sure. Arsenal are our boys, like
at Anfield. I mean,
anywhere.
at Emirates.
I checked the records. We deck them. And it's normal. It's not even a long play. He knows. Like he's hoping they turn it around. And Teta has done.
No. That's big boy talk. That's big boy talk from Shopsy and you're a Liverpool fan. You what's your take on the game?
So big boys make a lot of noise when they're down.
And big barrels.
Yeah, because when police don't catch big boy, now that they say,
exactly.
do you know who I am?
Big
but
boy.
Police don't catch
like
you.
Like Jordan said
understand? Now who has the power? The police. Ogara going to the station. That's the position that Arsenal is right now. We have everybody in the league on. You are going to the station. When we get to the station,
except Manchester United,
listen. You settled us. You needed it. You settled us. No, my point is this. Look, Liverpool fans should accept whatever position they're in and come into the game with a lot of enthusiasm.
And with a bit of tempered expectation.
No, not even. They should actually come with the same flamboyance, the same bravado that they've been doing in the last, because that way, when they're humbled, it's a sweeter pie to swallow.
No, talk to the fans.
No.
I'm not the one you're
move your face, but
no, please talk to the fans.
Actually, you can move away because move your face.
Move your glasses and face.
So listen. Oh, look into my balls. My eyeballs. Don't keep it here. Keep it here. All right, listen. This is what it is. I guess so personally, I like to face my issues dead on. You understand? Like Liverpool is a big issue for Arsenal this time around. Reality is, previous years I would not have come on this kind of show. With my chest out. My chest is not necessarily out, but it's out for me because the table states so. Just as a point for people to remember, what's your position right now on the table?
I'll start looking at it in March. What's I don't know, you can tell them now.
So the same reason why I should start worrying about Liverpool in March. Because right now, they are not an issue.
That's hard.
No. Listen up. I asked you, what's your position? You said I'm not looking at it. So then why should I look at someone that doesn't care about his own self? The fact is, Liverpool as they stand,
I'm coming to your yard.
You're a shadow of yourself. Your yard was dark and then made brighter for you to see how terrible it is by brightening.
Jimmy, enough said. Quickly, what is your prediction for the game? Give me your prediction for the game. Scoreline.
I made my prediction, and it's going to be exactly how I'm going to call it. Arsenal is not going to concede. We will score 2 goals, 1 in each half, and the game will be over as a contest from the
2 goals to nothing.
From the 75th minute.
Well, Octopus, Jimmy has said it.
No, I ain't no Octopus. I only got 2 hands.
So, Shopsy, what's your prediction?
I think Arsenal are in good form. I reckon they can score. So they'll score 2 goals.
He will take a draw.
And we're going to score 3. 3 to Liverpool.
3 to Liverpool. Awesome.
Go. It's not that year.
Let me leave that to you, our viewers out there. Put your predictions in the comment section. Anywhere you're watching this. Arsenal versus Liverpool on Sunday at the Emirates. What will be the final scores? we definitely will be giving gifts out. Our sponsors will be giving gifts out as well.
Is Nunes going to score? Oh, sorry.
He might too.
Sorry.
He might. He might.
Yeah.
It should be a new thing for you guys. Nunes scoring is a new thing for you.
Remember Jota's Day.
I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to both an opportunity to rep your club. We do have a segment where you can rep your club. So that's coming. That's coming, right? But quickly, because we have very little time. Everton versus Manchester United. What do you think? What do you think Everton fans should be expecting? What do you think Manchester United fans should be expecting?
Saliba scored against Everton, so they need to remember the reality. He didn't even know that was where I was going. My point is, Everton, Manchester United, unfortunately, because they don't have the goal scoring that they would have loved, I do fear for what Anthony is able to do with the ball at his feet. He reminds me of an uncut Wilfred Zaha or Ronaldo back in the day. So I expect him to do some dazzling, probably get someone sent off, and if that happens, Manchester United will take the day.
I think United will win. Low scoring game, but I think United will win.
Yeah.
To be honest, I actually see a draw, but a red card might come into play.
That's interesting. I also do think Manchester United will win that one, but a low scoring.
What are you supposed to say? He said they will be City. He says a lot of stuff,
and I'm usually right? So Everton are the team who have considered the least number of goals in the league so far. So that's
congratulations. They should take that trophy and run with it.
That definitely counts for something for Everton and their fans, because Martial is back, Rashford is back,
fans?
Anthony is back. They do have some fans.
Some corners of Liverpool.
Let us move on now quickly to just wrap things up. The NBA is back.
Yes, sir.
The NBA is back. Preseason.
My God, Lakers can win a game, my God.
The league starts on the 19th.
18th, actually.
18th, 19th. So that's definitely something.
Well, 19th here, 18th there.
So 19th here, 18th there. Who do you think
people should watch out for?
Yeah.
Obviously, the Golden State Warriors are expected to try and go for a repeat. But the return of Kawhi Leonard, as well as John Wall joining the Los Angeles Clippers, with a team that already has a Paul George that is looking to make a statement. They do have a support system that is very, very good in shooting the ball. Landry Shamet, as well as Reggie Jackson as well. Experience and good shooting options. I think they do have the depth that is required and the superstars that can actually take up the position. So Kawhi Leonard returning is a big deal for Clippers, and if he stays fit, you know what he does when he's fit. He wins. I'm not gonna. You don't cut me before. Before LA. Let me know LA. That's all.
That's who I wanted to give it.
LeBron James, the king returns year 20.
That's actually what I was going to say to
Russell Westbrook, don't ruin it for us, please. Get traded.
But right, yeah, Russell Westbrook might be traded. Anthony Davis.
I don't think he will be traded, but you know the way the league is setting up now, I think they're just gonna stick with him until the trade deadline opens up again after the All-Star break. So
Shopsy, what are you looking out for?
So yeah, exciting season coming up. I would like to see what the Brooklyn Nets can do this time around.
Oh man, the drama that is the Brooklyn Nets.
The drama, like it's a roller coaster rocking with the Brooklyn Nets. But yeah, I'd like to see what KD can do with Kyrie. Hopefully, like the distractions that we had last season shouldn't be had this season. Ben Simmons is sticking around. I've seen some practice videos where he's actually shooting the basketball.
Right, he shot 0 for 5 2 nights ago, bro.
I mean, but at least
he ain't shooting.
But you know the best part, the 5 at the end of it. At least he shot.
He attempted 5. No, there were layups. He attempted layups.
At least I think I was passing the ball under the rim 2 years ago.
Fair enough. Don't forget Giannis as well.
Maguire. Yeah, obviously you have to look at the Giannis as well. So yeah, I like that from Brooklyn Nets. If they can get it taken, I'd like to see that. I rock with the Golden State Warriors as well. Steph Curry, that's my favorite basketball player. If you can win another ring and take it out to 5, then there's some conversations that need to be had. Obviously, Giannis is going to go hard as well, Jokic. And I think the MVP, I might call this now, I think Luka Doncic will be the MVP.
Interesting.
It's about time, actually.
Let us know what you think about the NBA. Who are you looking out for the most this season that starts on the 19th in Nigeria? And just quickly wrap things up. In other news, Lionel Messi has announced that this coming World Cup will be the last one.
I think we're about to say Lionel Messi has said Ronaldo should join him.
You guys know Ronaldo has to stay there.
Messi has announced that this will be his last World Cup, and of course,
it might as well be.
That's big.
It's exciting that's his last World Cup because I feel like for most of the last World Cups, Argentina haven't looked this good. This is probably the best they've looked coming into a World Cup. Yeah, they've had the dazzling squads before, but it never worked out. And now they haven't lost in 35 matches. They're Copa America champions. Messi has like it's a young squad that works hard for him now.
He's kind of reinvented his position.
Yeah, he's reinvented his position, and the manager looks like a good manager. So this is the last World Cup, but it might be his best chance.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, do not forget Messi just recorded as the player who scored against the highest number of teams in the Champions League.
No, we're talking about champs now,
right? no, it's Lionel Messi, right? It's Lionel Messi. But still on the World Cup, right?
Wow,
still on the World Cup. Kyle Walker will miss out on the
he had
World Cup, having
surgery
sustained
on his groin.
that injury against Manchester United.
Sorry to Kyle Walker. I don't wish injury on anybody, but I like. I can't like the performance. All these last tournaments, they do tend to take 4 right backs. I come on here and say that I think it's been ridiculous how Southgate will take 4 right backs. You're just being a coward. You need to man up and drop for it. But now, exactly, the decision has been made easier for us. So maybe we'll just take 3 of them.
Definitely. And something else that I wanted to touch on before we go, in other news, right? It's women's football.
Yes.
West Bromwich Albion normally play with white shorts, and the women in the club have come together and said they do not want to play with white shorts anymore. They'll be playing with navy blue shorts moving forward because of period issues. Menstruation and stuff. That women usually tend to have anxiety when when they're on the period and they're wearing white. So that's something that's interesting. I feel like I appreciate the effort by the club side to.
So the club has accepted to do that?
Accepted to do
I'm
that.
all for that because I'm getting married soon, so anything to support the women, let's do it, man.
Congratulations, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, invite us.
Come on, man.
I like Owen Bez.
Cause, I'm inviting only them. Only them.
You did.
Anyways, it was an amazing episode. Thank you very much for joining us on the show, Jimmy.
Appreciate you.
It was nice to have you.
Yeah, I'll be back. Even though it's not saying, I'll be back to gloat and make sure everybody feels it. When we do, we
come back. I'll find you. You catch me.
Let me give you a hot take. Take this. Arsenal's win the league. Boom.
Okay, and that's a very good place to end it. He's just said it. Thank you very much for sticking with us. Thank you very much to BetWinner, our sponsors, and of course, do not forget, put your predictions in the comment sections. Arsenal versus Liverpool, Everton versus Manchester United, and who also do you expect to see the most from in the NBA? Thank you guys. Peace.
Yeah, peace to us. I don't know about you.